I never imagined I'd be the kind of man telling a story like this. The kind you'd expect to see in a film, too dramatic to be real. But life has a way of blindsiding you. Especially when you think everything is stable. It didn't begin with a bang. There was no shouting match or dramatic reveal. Instead, it began quietly, in the unnoticed shifts, in the silent betrayals that hide in plain sight. My wife Alyssa and I had been together for 6 years. She was my everything. I centered my life around her. The house we built, our routines, even the dreams I shaped for the future. And Connor, my best friend since childhood, he was like family. We had weathered life together. Schoolyard fights, heartbreaks, triumphs. He was the kind of friend who didn't need an invitation to come over. He was the best man at our wedding. I trusted him completely. The first crack in the surface was subtle. We were hosting a small backyard barbecue. The night was warm, the kind that smells of grilled food and faint music, friends laughing around a flickering citronella candle. I stepped outside with a bag of ice and caught a glimpse. Alyssa laughing at something Connor said. Her smile lingering too long. His body leaning in just slightly too close. They both pulled away the moment they noticed me. Too fast. Too practiced. I brushed it off. Told myself I was imagining it. Maybe it was just the summer air making me paranoid. But things didn't stop there. Over the following weeks, the space between Alyssa and me widened. She became guarded. Her phone was always in her hand, and she'd lock it the moment I entered the room. Connor, oddly enough, seemed busier than ever. Yet he somehow kept stopping by. Even when I wasn't home. He left little things behind. His hoodie on our chair, a bottle of bourbon, sunglasses on the kitchen counter. Each time it was another excuse to return. At first, I tried to reason with myself. Maybe I was being jealous. Insecure. But the feeling in my gut wouldn't go away. One night, while Alyssa was in the shower, I did what I never thought I'd do. I went through her phone. I had always believed trust was sacred. But when it's already being shattered behind your back, even your strongest principles begin to bend. And what I found, it broke me. Their messages were all there. Weeks of texts that started harmlessly enough. Inside jokes, casual flirty banter. But then came the photos. The late-night conversations. The way Connor called her by the nickname he used for her in college, before I was ever in the picture. And then, the message that shattered any doubt. Last night was perfect. I wish she hadn't come home so early. I remember just staring at the screen, the sound of the running water from the shower behind me, her voice humming as if nothing was wrong. My hands trembled. My throat tightened. I set the phone down and walked out of the house. No words. No confrontation. I slept in my car that night, parked down the street, staring at the empty road ahead. Heart pounding, mind racing. I wanted to lose it. To storm back inside and yell until the pain stopped. But something inside me told me to wait. To stay quiet. To think. And so I did. The next morning, I walked in like nothing had changed. I kissed her forehead, made coffee, smiled like I was still the same man. But I wasn't. I began collecting evidence. Quietly. Screenshots, message logs, timestamps. I upgraded the home security system, placed new cameras, tracked their visits. They didn't suspect a thing. I became an observer in my own life, pretending to be present while inside I was ice. Then I planned the dinner. I told Alyssa I wanted an evening like old times, just the three of us. She seemed surprised but agreed. Connor, ever the friendly liar, said he'd bring the wine. I cooked. Set the table just right. Played music they both loved. I smiled and laughed through it all. And then came dessert. 3 slices of chocolate cake and 3 envelopes, one placed carefully in front of each of us. They looked at them, confused. "What's this?" Alyssa asked, half laughing. "A little game," I said. "Let's open them together." On my count, we opened them. Hers was full of screenshots. Every message, every photo, all the secrets she thought were hidden. Connor's had the same. Plus one photo, grainy security footage of him slipping out of our bedroom at 1:38 a.m. while I was away on a business trip. The silence that followed was absolute. No excuses. No words. Just the heavy ticking of the wall clock. I stood up slowly, looked at them both. "I know," I said. "I've known for weeks." Alyssa looked like she might collapse. Connor wouldn't meet my eyes. I turned to her and said, "You made your choice. And now I'm making mine." Then I walked away. No arguments. No second chances. That night, I checked into a hotel. By the end of the week, I had filed for divorce. I cut Connor out of my life without a word. But the story didn't end there. In the aftermath, I started writing. Just for myself at first, a way to process the wreckage. But something unexpected happened. I began sharing pieces of it anonymously online. And the response was overwhelming. People wrote to me, strangers, saying they had gone through the same kind of betrayal, thanking me for speaking the words they couldn't find. Those posts turned into a podcast. That podcast became a platform, a space for stories like mine. Each week, I speak to people who've been hurt and left behind, but who found a way to rebuild. What they did to me nearly destroyed me, but in the ashes of that betrayal, I found something powerful: purpose. They thought they could break me. Instead, they lit a fire I didn't know I had.